Hey guys, so in the previous video we learned that for a circle like this, if we were to measure the angle subtended from the center in radians, we can say that the angle in radians is the ratio between the arc length s and the radius r. And it gave us the following expression. We said that s is equal to r theta, where s is the arc length, r is the radius, and theta is the angle in radians. Now, we also know that for a full circle, the arc length s, which is equal to r theta, for a full circle, the arc length is just 2 pi r because it's the outer perimeter of a circle, right? So for a full circle, the arc length is just the outer perimeter, so that is equal to 2 pi r. So what's the angle subtended from the center in radians? Well, we can find theta. Since we can divide both sides by r, we get theta is equal to 2 pi radians. So for a full circle, we can say that the angle subtended from the center is equal to 2 pi radians. We also know from our previous understanding that for a full circle, what we have is 360 degrees. If 360 degrees are subtended from the center of the circle, the arc length is just the outer perimeter of a circle. So for a full circle, the angle subtended from the center is 360 degrees. So we can say that for every 360 degrees, we have 2 pi radians. If you divide both sides by 2, to simplify the ratio, what we get is for every 180 degrees, what we have is pi radians. So from that, what we can say is that the ratio between the angle in degrees, to the angle in radians is equal to 180 degrees over pi radians. So the ratio between, since we know that for every 180 degrees we have pi radians, the ratio between the angle in degrees to the angle in radians is equal to 180 over pi. So from this ratio over here, we can derive an expression. To convert between radians and degrees. Here, since we know that the ratio of the angle in degrees to the angle in radians is 180 over pi, if I multiply both sides by theta radians, what I get is that the angle in degrees is equal to 180 over pi times the angle in radians. Similarly, if I make the angle in radians the subject, so I multiply radians on both sides and I multiply pi over 180 on both sides, what I get is that the angle in radians is equal to pi over 180 times the angle in degrees. So here what we have is we have two expressions that can help us convert between these two units. If given an angle in radians, if we multiply that angle in radians by 180 over pi, we get the angle in degrees. Similarly, if given an angle in degrees, if you multiply it by pi over 180, you get the angle in radians.